the TCI Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight from Troy High School, it's the Kimball Knights taking on the Troy Colts. Hello everyone, Dave Zorin here at Troy High School for this great matchup we have for you tonight. The Troy Colts at 6-0 and the Kimball Knights at 5-1. And a great game this will be because this is the title match for the SMA. This is the game that these two teams have been looking forward to all season long. And we'll have the kickoff of tonight's game right after these messages. Stay with us. Oakland Press Perspective with Neil Monroe is an informative talk show that discusses issues often overlooked by broadcast stations. Neil Monroe, the editor of the Oakland Press newspaper, will keep you abreast on hot topics, events, and issues taking place in Oakland County. So for news you can use, join Neil Monroe every week on the Oakland Press Perspective, Friday night at 8:30 on TCI 63. TCI Sports Game of the Week. This week we're at Troy High School. Dave Zorin with you. Unfortunately, Bob Griglak out tonight with an illness, and we hope he gets better for next game. Last year's records for these two teams in the conference for Kimball, 2-5 and a 4-5 record overall. The Troy Colts 7-0 in the conference and 10-1 overall, and a great season for them. This year, 4-1 for the Kimball Knights, 5-1 overall, and Troy 5-0 and 6-0 overall. You can see the records there, and you can see the importance of this game for these two teams. There it is, right there in the SMA. Troy on top, 5-0 in the conference. Kimball right behind them, 4-1, and this is the season for Kimball right here. Overall, 6-0 and 5-1, as we saw, and then the rest of the pack, as we saw, Berkeley 3-2, Seaholm 3-2, and the rest. There we see Gary Griffith, head coach here at Troy High. He is 21-5 overall in his third year here at Troy High School, and a very successful 21-5. On the other side, Terry Powers in his fourth year as head coach for the Kimball Knights. He is 16-7 overall. Last week had a very tough game against the Berkeley Bears, unexpected, as the Bears stunned the Kimball Knights 41-6. And talking to Terry Powers before the game, he said his team is ready for this game, and they are looking forward to this matchup. This is the game they were looking forward to, and I think that's why they possibly had a little bit of a letdown looking forward to playing the Troy Colts and kind of skipped over the Berkeley Bears. That'll happen sometimes. And of course, reading about it in the papers doesn't get them any much less tense for these games. We're ready for the kickoff as the Kimball Knights will kick off to the Troy Colts. The kickoff, a low liner taken at the 30, and a good return for the Colts past the 40-yard line. The ball taken there by Lou Alfala, or correction, that was the Kimball player. And the return taken by Chad Benson. Let's take a look at Benson's return on the low line drive. Doesn't let the blocking develop really on a low line drive kick like this, but he will get some good yardage as he tries to break it outside and finally brought out of bounds by number 14, Corey Reiser. 1st and 10 for the Troy Colts. The quarterback, Kipke, Brian Kipke. They pass on a 1st down. The ball lofted out there and caught inbounds at the 30 and still inbounds and finally in for the touchdown as the Troy Colts strike quickly. And the pass from Kipke to Goldberg. Jeremy Goldberg, number 10, the receiver, and the Troy Colts strike with some lightning here in the first play of the game. Let's take a look. Kipke back to pass, has good protection, plenty of time. Nobody around him, lets it go. It kind of lofts up there, and it gives time for the defender to get in there, and the defender has a chance to knock it down, but misses the ball. Goldberg stays inbounds, and a good move there, goes all the way. The extra point, no good. And talking to Gary Griffith before the game, extra points have been tough to come by. They have been successful, but they haven't been easy to come by for the Colts. The Colts lead quickly, 6-0. Last week's game for the Colts. They came up with a big victory, 47-0. There on the far sideline, Terry Powers with the headset on. You can see him in the center with the Kimball Knights sweatshirt on.
Did we turn our bodies?
And the Troy Colts will return the favor of the kickoff now. With 11:43 left on the clock, the Troy Colts score quickly. On the first play here in the first quarter. Two kickers for the Troy Colts. Here's the drive, one play, 57 yards on the play and 17 seconds off the clock. The kickoff by Beams, taken at the 10-yard line by number 11, Adam Conrad for Kimball. And Conrad gets him over the 20, about to the 25, and we'll see where they start here. And the Colts fired up on the sideline, leading 6-0 here in the first quarter at home. The quarterback for the Kimball Knights, number 16, Jeff Davis. Davis has his favorite receiver, Brian Issett, number 19. Watch for him as they have been able to connect for some big plays this season. Straight dive on the play and not much there. On the carry, number 42 for Kimball, and that is Alan Dodson. Dodson will do a lot of carrying from the backfield. And Terry Powers will mix it up with the pass also. Two very strong teams here in the SMA. And this is pretty much the season here for both teams. And Kimball wants to come back and tie it up in the conference. Davis to pass and a quick slant in, but throws it in the ground. And again, that's the number he was looking for, number 19, Brian Issett, the wide receiver. Looking for a quick opener on a slant in. Terry Powers sends in the play. And they'll bring up a 3rd down and 9 now coming up for the Knights. Here, the crowd here at Troy High School for this big contest here in the SMA. Pretty much packed. The reverse. It will not pick up much yardage. It won't pick up the 1st down, and it looks like a punting situation now for the Knights. Corey Reiser on the counter. Let's take a look. Here's Davis faking one way, not much of a fake, and then coming around the other way is Reiser looking for his blocks. And the Troy Colt defense there trying to just stop it, stuff the play, and they did. The punt, a high and a good punt, and calling for the fair catch at the 40-yard line is number 5 for the Colts, and that is Eric Cook. So Cook, no return on it, but they still get good field position. Ball at the 41, 42-yard line, and that's where the Troy Colts start. The Colts strike quickly on their first possession. Kipke to Goldberg. Second offensive play for the Colts, and this is a good one too. E.J. Howell on the carry, and he got about 4 or 5 yards on it. 5 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 5 coming up now for the Colts. Just under 10 minutes left here in the first quarter at Troy High School. There, the sideline, Gary Griffith looking on and talking to his defense as the offensive plays are being called on by his offensive coordinator. Cutting outside, E.J. Howell for the 1st down and more. Howell picking up the 1st down for the Colts, and the Colts establishing themselves on the ground now offensively. Let's take a look on the quick pitch. Howell breaking it outside, finding one block, makes a cut outside there as the defense got penetration, and along the sideline picked up the 1st down. Into Kimball territory, ball at the 45-yard line. Kipke way down in that Crouch at quarterback. Handing off to the first man through. And that is Gould, Garrett Gould, number 40. Gould and Howell make up an awesome backfield for the Colts. There we see the crowd. And that is not a fire in the background, folks. That's where they're cooking up those good Italian sausages. Comparable to the ones over at Ferndale. I'm trying to get my statistician, Kelvin Calhoun, to go over there and try those. Those are good, Kelvin. 2nd down and 7 coming up. 3-yard carry for Gould. Hand off to Howell from the backfield. Howell will be close to a first down. E.J. Howell. Just a great 1-2 punch that the Colts have in that backfield. Howell with the speed and Gould with a lot of power. Let's take a look at this as they fake. And now Howell, the tailback, comes through off tackle for a big gain. And the Kimball Knights have to stop him here. 3rd and 1.
Gotta get it now.
Big play here for the Kimball Knights if they can stop them. Colts moving. In motion. Number 31, E.J. Howell. Handoff to the other tailback, and a big run here. Short of the touchdown, but what a great run by Scott Hamus. We talked about the 1-2 punch, and Scott Hamus is the other guy. A senior. Scott Hamus, let's take a look. Howell in motion, trying to divert some attention his way. Hamus on a good second effort here, was slowed up there and then breaks free. And then finally catching him is number 25, Jay Swan, right at the 1-yard line. A player down on the field on the far sideline. And I believe it might be Jay Swan after making the tackle. There was nobody else over there but Jay Swan. Let's see. Looks like number 89. And that is Jeremy Swanson, the tight end. Defensive lineman. 6'2", 205, and a junior for the Kimball Knights. He went down right around where the tackle was made. Here we see the Troy Colts crowd and the new facility here. The 2nd year the Troy Colts have played here. And Jeremy Swanson still down on the field. And they are not moving Jeremy. Let's see, they've got a couple players coming over to help. A couple of bigger players. And it looks like they're gonna try to get him up on his own, but they're there to help. Looks like a leg, as you can see there. And he already has a brace on the knee, so a round of applause for Jeremy Swanson as he gets up. Big guy, 205 pounds, so they're going to get 3 people over there to help. And Jeremy Swanson being carried off. The score 6-0 now, 8:14 left here in the first quarter. And the Troy Colts knocking on the door of Kimball again. They scored 6 on the first play of the game on a 57-yard touchdown pass. Ball on the 1-yard line. Let's see what they do. And let's see if he's in. No, but it'll be 2nd down, just short. Ball was on the 2. And I believe it was Hamus on the carry.
Go offense!
3 backs. They've got a power eye in the backfield. Kipke hands it off to the tailback, E.J. Howell. He's in for the touchdown. Howell on the 1-yard carry gets it in with 7:43 left in the first quarter. There's E.J. Howell. 2 backs blocking for you, and he's got 2 big backs there, Hamus and Gould. And Howell just follows him and goes in on his feet. Finally knocked back. And the cheerleaders, a lot to cheer about so far. 12-0, and now a big extra point attempt here. They're going to try to go for 2. to make up for the missed extra point last time. 12-0 the score. Kipke calling the signals. Howell in motion. He's got one back, and that's Gould. 3 receivers flooding the zone, into the end zone, and wide open. Wide open to Goldberg. Jeremy Goldberg, who caught the touchdown, completes the 2-point conversion. Let's take a look as all the receivers, all the eligible receivers flood the zone out there, and there's just too many people for the Knights to cover. And in the back of the end zone is Jeremy Goldberg for the 2-pointer, and that's a big 2-point conversion as it evens it up at 14 now on the scoreboard. There he is, Jeremy Goldberg. 8 points for Goldberg tonight. 14-0 the score here at Troy High School. The Colts coming out in their first 2 drives and very successful. To kick off is Beams. Paul Beams. He will not kick extra points. Beams doing the kicking off, though. Back to receive is Adam Conrad, number 11, and number 34, Jason Webster. This one will be Conrad. Conrad takes it at about the 10-yard line, trying to cut outside and tripped up there by number 5, Eric Cook. Cook on the tackle. So again, the Kimball Knights starting in their own territory, deep in their own territory this time, deeper than last time. Here's the return. As you see Conrad, he'll go to the middle of the field and then sees a little bit of daylight outside. Watch the great play here. And a good tackle there by Eric Cook as he was sliding down, just brought out the arm and hauled Conrad down. 1st and 10, and the dive here, but going along the line of scrimmage was Dodson trying to make something happen. There was nothing there, and Dodson having trouble now getting up. Dodson in some pain there as he tried to get up and was crawling. Not a good sign for the Kimball Knights. They've had a couple players down now already. Jeremy Swanson earlier, and now one of their key running backs, Alan Dodson. 7 plays for the Troy Colts, eating up 55 yards in 2 minutes and 47 seconds on that second scoring drive. So the Colts very successful on 2 plays. And now another injury, and another, looks like this is a crucial injury to Alan Dodson, one of the key running backs for the Knights. Another leg injury, looks like. 7:07 left on the clock. Clock stopped with a 2nd down and 11, loss of a yard on the play. Jeff Davis, the quarterback, calling the signals. Again, watch for number 19, and that is Brian Issett on the top of the screen. In motion is Reiser, and the flags fly. Play does not get off. Let's see if we can hear the call.
He's out there, coach. Got a dead ball foul. False start on the offense.
Well, when it rains, it pours. You got 2 injuries, and now a big penalty that knocks them back to the 19-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 16. You hear the crowd here at Troy High on their feet. Of course, that's the younger section. They can stand on their feet for the whole game. If you pan down the other side of the crowd, most of them are sitting down. The parents of the players and the band as well.
Let's go, defense.
Back to pass is Davis. Davis getting some pressure, unloads downfield, and just out of the reach of number 19, Brian Issett. That is the key receiver, and that's who the Colts are keying on. They may even have double coverage on him. Let's take a look as Davis drops back. He'll start feeling some pressure now and unloads a great pass downfield. Look at that, tight spiral and just out of the reach as he was diving. On the coverage was number 22, Chad Benson.
Big play defense, go.
3rd down and about 16 here for the Knights. And again, a passing down. Brian Issett, the receiver, now closest to the screen. And the pressure gets to number 16, Jeff Davis that time. The Troy Colts, knowing that a pass was coming, and they were coming full speed at Davis. Davis really doesn't have too much time to set up here, as getting in there quickly, number 89, John McCall. McCall on the sack, and a big sack for the Troy Colts. And that is why Gary Griffith was talking to his defense. That'll win you the game right now. You've got 14 points. Good punt here. But great field position now for the Colts. Trying to cut it outside is Eric Cook. Cook with great moves inside and down to about the 25-yard line. And the Troy Colts are smelling another touchdown here. Eric Cook coming up with a great return here. Made a nice tackle defensively. Now comes up with a big run here. Cutting it to the outside. You can see a good block there. Another good block. Putting a Knight on the ground. And here, just can't get past number 34, Jason Webster, on the tackle. First and 10, ball on the 25. I formation for the Colts, and the handoff to the tailback. Howell falling forward at the line of scrimmage for maybe 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 coming up. Let's take a look as the tailback, Howell, goes the other way. Both of the action, the running backs going the other way, and the counter by Howell showing movement going the other way. Going to the left side. 14-0 the score. I formation again. Gould, the fullback, goes one way, and they pass to Gould. Gould is wide open and gets down inside the 5-yard line and carries him down to the 3. Well, you've got a great backfield back there, and you try to use him as much as you can. Garrett Gould, an unlikely receiver, getting this one. Kipke has to throw over the line of scrimmage, up in the air, and gets the pass to him. And now Gould does the rest. Look at him carry 3 players and make it 4 now, down to about the 3-yard line. First down at the 3. Full house in the backfield. The handoff goes to Gould. And he gets it in. Touchdown, Garrett Gould. 4:19 left in the first quarter, and 3 touchdowns for the Troy Colts already. And the Kimball Knights still feeling that tough loss against the Berkeley Bears. Now they've got to get some strength from inside to try to stop the Troy Colts. Gould on the 3-yard run makes it 20-0, and now the extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. And a big relief for Gary Griffith to get that one through. The extra point by Jason Vincent. And the Troy Colts with a lot to celebrate, 21-0 here in the first quarter at Troy High School. 4:19 left in the first quarter. And what looked to be a great matchup on paper now is turning out the opposite. But hey, a lot of game left, as you can see. They're in the first quarter, 4:19 left, and just as quickly, the Kimball Knights have some tools that can score quickly. They just have to connect. As we saw a pass from Davis to Issett earlier, if they could just connect on a couple of those, they might be in business. 3 plays, 30 yards in 41 seconds, and the Colts are scoring quickly themselves. Beams to do the kicking. A great kickoff down to about the 1-yard line, and returning it, number 34, Webster. Webster finding some room. Not much there, but a good return. Gets it out over the 25-yard line to about the 26 or 27. A big break there for the Kimball Knights to pick it up at the 1-yard line and bring it out to about the 26. That was definitely going into the end zone. They could have easily let it go. And Webster doing a good job of changing hands there, feeling the pressure, and a nice return in heavy traffic.
Let's go defense.
4 minutes left here in the first quarter. And the Knights on their 3rd possession now. Nothing there for number 11 on the carry. Adam Conrad stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard. Let's see what they mark here.
Let's go, Troy!
A little more than a yard on it. It'll be 2nd down and long. 2nd and 9 coming up for Jeff Davis, the quarterback, number 16. The play being brought in by number 38. For the Kimball Knights. Davis. 2nd and 9, goes back to pass. Has a little bit of time, and now the pressure getting to him. Chased out of the pocket and brought down. And a flag down over there. Kyle Rance, number 6 on the sack.
Davis sacked on the play by number 6, Rance.
And let's take a look at the penalty here.
Got face mask.
Face mask on the Troy Colts, and that'll hurt them. Let's take a look and see if we can see it. It was thrown in the direction of where the tackle was made. Let's take a look and see if it's committed on Davis. And where do they grab him? Around the backside. I don't see anything there. Yeah, maybe just a little bit there. Tough to tell if it was on Davis. Rance on Davis. Yeah, when the red light is on, that means you're on camera, so we are right there. She's probably shooting our cameraman, Mark Gomez, down there. Or who are we shooting? It was Bubba Wicker. Handoff going outside on the carry, and nothing there. Maybe around to the original line of scrimmage. Now let's see. Short of the first down, I should say. That brought him back. 3rd and a couple here. Not much room there in turning the corner for number 38 for the Kimball Knights. And we don't have his number on the roster, so we'll get that for you. Timeout called by the ref down on the field. And a mouth guard dropped by one of the Kimball players. He's got to get that mouth guard in. 2:30 left here in the first quarter at Troy High. 21-0 the score. The Colts lead. Here's the straight dive, and it looks like they pick up the first down. So the Kimball Knights come up with a big first down here. And the first down for them. Ball just shy of the 40-yard line, about the 39. .210 and counting down here in the first quarter. Kimball Knights on the move now. Their first down. And 3 men in the backfield. Handoff coming around and cutting the corner. 38, nothing there though. And I'll try to get that name for you.
Shit, now you could have gone home.
Well, unfortunately, nobody in the press box here has number 38 on him. It looks like a sophomore, probably just brought up. I know that head coach Terry Powers talking about bringing up some sophomores for this game, and that's probably one of them. As nobody here in the press box has that. We'll get that for you in the second half. 2nd down and 9 now. Back to pass. Davis in the ground. He looked over at Isid, and he was covered, and that was intended for number 14, Corey Reiser. Now a 3rd and 9 coming up for the Kimball Knights, and they have found themselves in this situation all night long as the Troy Colts have shut them down on the early downs and forced them to 3rd and long conversions. The penalty really helped them, and that's what helped them get that first down that they were looking for. Davis calls the signals. Back to pass. He's got a pro set. He's looking downfield and has room to run. It looks like he'll pick up the first down and more. Davis. Jeff Davis on a heads-up play for the Kimball Knights gets him into Troy Colt territory, and that finally breaks the ice for them as they have some room to move now. Let's take a look. Davis definitely passing on his mind as he had a pro formation. 2 receivers on either side. He was definitely looking to the right side. Nothing there, so he takes it to the left where all of his receivers were on the right side. Has a little bit of room to run and picks up a little bit of distraction block there by Isid as he just got in the way. Ball at about the 44-yard line. 1st and 10 on the carry. Number 11, Adam Conrad. Conrad, a straight up and down runner, which makes him easy to tackle, and the Colts have done that on those straight dives. Conrad limping back to the huddle. Usually taking the ball, as you can see, he's a straight up and down runner, and that neck brace makes him look even more that way when he hits the line of scrimmage. But not in there is number 42, and that is one of their key running backs, Dodson. Alan Dodson out, so the Colts will have to, or the Knights will have to go without that. 2nd and 7, Davis to pass. Going deep and throwing short of his intended receiver, Issett, by about, 8 yards or so. 18 seconds left, and the clock stopped there here in the first quarter. There you see Gary Griffith calling out the signals to his defense, and he takes pride in that defense. Griffith coming into this season 15-5 as a head coach. And a penalty down on the field. Let's hear the call.
We've got a holding on the offense that's enforced from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down, 2nd down.
From the spot of the foul, so that knocks them way back into their own territory again. A holding from the spot of the foul gets them back to about the 41, 42-yard line. So nothing coming easy for the Kimball Knights tonight. 2 receivers up top. That's Reiser and Issett. Davis looking for a screen, nothing developing there, and just throws it into the ground. It looked like it was supposed to be some kind of a screen to the back, and it just didn't develop correctly. And Davis had nothing else to do but throw into the ground. It'll bring up a 3rd and 24 for the Knights with 11 seconds left here in the first quarter. Big offensive attack here for the Troy Colts tonight, as they have scored on their first 3 possessions to make it 21-0. And the Knights have a tough battle ahead of them. 3rd and 24 doesn't make it easy either. Here we go. 2 receivers up top again. Davis going downfield and right into the hands of number 22, Chad Benson. Benson will get a good return here. Down the sideline and finally out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Chad Benson hanging back, the free safety, just waiting for that one, and he had a beat on Brian Issett. Look at Jeff Davis will look for Issett way downfield, and you'll see Chad Benson just waiting for it to come down. There it is. Davis did not see Benson down there. He just wanted to lead Issett. And Benson right there. A lot of room to run for him, especially on this far side, and near side, I should say. And finally out of bounds right near camera. Number 22 right there. Yes, Gary Griffith talks to him. Chad Benson, big interception here. And great field position for the Troy Colts as they will start the second quarter deep into Kimball Knight territory. Gary Griffith got to be pleased with the way his defense has been playing. You see diehard Troy Colts fans painting their face with the TC. And yeah, that's where that noise is coming from. Little milk cartons with some change in there. The upcoming games for these two teams are not as difficult as you would think. The Kimball Knights play the 3-3 Hazel Park team, and then the Dondero Oaks at 2-4. The Troy Colts at 6-0 will, and possibly 7-0 after this game, 6-0 in this game, play Southfield. Now, Southfield is always a tough team for the Colts, and then they play Troy Athens. So you look at the 2-4 and 3-3 for Troy, but Southfield can explode at any time, and the Troy Colts can too.
We go, EJ!
Back to the action. E.J. Howell on the carry. And gains about 3 or 4 yards. Let's see where they mark it. Gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 coming up. The Troy Colts continue to apply that strong ground game, as they have done so far here in this first half. Gould the up back, and Howell the tailback. Howell now goes in motion. He's got 2 receivers down at the bottom of the screen. And he looks that way. Howell has a couple of blocks, and look out. He's in the wide open field. Touchdown, E.J. Howell. E.J. Howell from Kipke, and that one was set up perfectly. Let's take a look. Howell running down, and it seemed even harmless the way he was just coming out here, but 2 receivers down here with 2 key blocks. And there's one by number 82 that sprung him. David Cheek was down there as one of the receivers, and a big block. The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. Paul Beams doing the kicking that time. We saw Jason Vincent make the extra point on the previous touchdown, and now the extra point is good here. Well, the Troy Colt offense running like a well-oiled machine right now. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns, 28-0 as we just start the second quarter here at Troy High School. 11-14 left here. As you can see, we just started. And 2 plays later, the Troy Colts come up with a touchdown. Next week, Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m., it's the Dondero Oaks taking on the Troy Athens Redhawks. The Oaks, the rival team of the Knights in Royal Oak, and the Athens Redhawks at 3-3 right now. The kickoff by Beams, and what a boomer this is, down inside the 5-yard line. On the return is Conrad. Conrad trying to break it outside. Adam Conrad on the return gets it over the 20-yard line to about the 22, and that's where the Knights will start. The scoring drive for the Troy Colts. And this is becoming repetitious here. 2 plays, 31 yards total, 46 seconds off the clock here in the second quarter. And the Kimball Knights trying to get something going here, salvage this first half. Any kind of scoring for them will be a positive going into the locker room. Davis drops back quickly, looking for a quick slant in, and completes it out there to Corey Reiser. Corey Reiser, and this might have been a mistake because you have both Reiser and Issett in the same general area. Let's take a look. There might have been a mix-up on the patterns, whether Issett was supposed to go downfield or not. But a little bit of confusion there as both receivers were in the same area. When you get that, you get a lot of defenders around you too. It's amazing they got that one off, and a good effort there by Reiser. There he is. Handoff straight up the middle, and not much there, but they do pick up a couple of yards. The handoff going to, can't see the number on the far side. And saw Conrad coming this way. Gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. Davis, the quarterback, calls the signals. He's got a pro set, 2 receivers. Out and almost intercepted. Intended out there for Reiser and knocked down by number 16, Beams. Paul Beams, the defensive back out there, knocking it down. The Knights trying to make something happen with the quick patterns, the quick one step back and throw for Davis because he's been pressured so much. They're trying to get the quick patterns, the slant ins, and that's what they've been successful with, but not as often as they'd like to. 3rd down and 7 now. Power eye in the backfield. They go to the tailback, and look at this. The Knights find something that works here as they give it to Adam Conrad, and they had the full house in the backfield. Conrad, the tailback, takes it. Good blocking for him this time. Untouched, really, as he goes through the line of scrimmage. Beams, and then finally getting him down is number 22, Chad Benson, but not until he got into the backfield. First down, ball at the 49-yard line of the Knights, and the Colts allowing some penetration here and a good drive. Here on the counter play, stopping him at the line of scrimmage, no yardage really. Trying to confuse him on the trap. The trap worked well last year. That was number 14, Riser on the carry.
It's trap, it's Mike.
The trap worked very well, talking to Gary Griffith before the game. And Terry Powers on the far sideline used the trap effectively last year against the Troy Colts. And it's something that the Colts were practicing on defense. And that time they stop it. Second down and 9, back to pass. Davis has a little time, but finally the walls come down. Rich Bobian on the tackle. Bobian on the sack. Let's take a look. Davis looks like he has a little time to throw and doesn't see the guy coming right up the middle, Jeff Bobian. And Bobian with the sack and knocks him back quite a bit, back to about the 41-yard line. So a loss of about 8. It'll bring up 3rd and 17 now.
I want to see something, Dwayne. Let's go, Dwayne.
Davis, 3 backs in the backfield, and he'll use them to block. Going downfield, intended for Issett, and just over his reach, about 2 yards. Issett was open, but just overthrew him just a little bit. And down there on the coverage, you see the familiar number 22, Chad Benson. The Troy Band boosters with their banner. And the big crowd here at Troy High School. And there you see the band. The punt taken by the Colts at about the 23-yard line. And taken there by E.J. Howell. So the Knights really, again, could not get anything going offensively. Credit that to the Troy Colt defense as they stifle them again. 28-0 the score. We're in the second quarter, 7:49 left. And the Troy Colts just coasting now to halftime. Don't forget to tune in to Roadshow Video. And this month on Roadshow Video, Pat and Brad head up to Almont, Michigan to experience the game of paintball. That's tonight on Roadshow Video, right after the game tonight. The handoff to Howell. Howell breaks into the backfield and gains the first down and more.
Okay, halfback pass could be coming, right?
E.J. Howell. There, Gary Griffith again, keeping his defense going in here. E.J. Howell keeping the offense going. Howell making the cuts when he needs to and just runs right over number 25, Jay Swan, who finally got him down by hanging on to his legs. Ball at about the 43-yard line, or excuse me, the 38-yard line. Not much that time for Howell, as he may have gained a yard. Let's see where they mark it. Here's the quick pitch out to Howell. He tries to cut back now, sees the defensive pressure getting in there. Jason Webster got in there quickly, and then everything broke down right after that. So Webster doing a good job of forcing it inside and getting some help. Here are the future cheerleaders and players of the future right there. 2nd and 9. I formation in the backfield. One receiver up top. E.J. Howell off tackle. First down and more. Again, on a nice carry, E.J. Howell this time going off tackle and making it happen. Good line surge by the Colts offensive line. They're doing the job here against the Knights. They're just exploding out there. And on the off tackle play, Howell has been able to pick up about 11 or 12 yards on the last 3 carries. Ball right at midfield. 2 men in the backfield. And 1 man in the slot here for Kipke. Back to pass. Kipke has plenty of time. Has a man open and overthrows him. Intended out there for number 39, Bob Appledorn. Appledorn open there and finds a little seam to get in there, and got in there. And Kipke has all day, really, nobody around him. But it's tough throwing on the run in that direction. He's throwing that way. And you can see kind of threw it off balance. 6:20, clock stop there. Left here in the second quarter. 2nd down and 10. Power I formation. In motion is Howell. The handoff going to Hamus. Hamus looks like he'll pick up the first down. And does. Finally driven out of bounds by number 32, Jeremy Davis. Hamas on the carry. And let's take a look again. Hamus getting a block there from Gould. And that springs him, but trying to turn it up outside. Right there. And hanging on is number 22, Lou Alfala. And finally catching up to him is Jeremy Davis. Hamus in motion to the short side. It'll be Gould on the carry. Gould just taking a player with him, 2 players, and wrapping him up was Jeremy Davis. But not after gaining 5 yards. Let's take a look at Gould. Will meet Jeremy Davis here right at the line of scrimmage, but just drives him back. And you can see the leg strength of Garrett Gould. Getting a little help down there. Also from Russ Slavic on the assist also. Gould, the up back. Hamus on the carry, or excuse me, that is E.J. Howell rather. And Howell getting close to a first down, but short of it. It'll be 3rd and short yardage coming up now. Full backfield again, and you'll see either Gould, Hamus, or Howell. Coming out is Goldberg. And the play being brought in by number 82, David Cheek. Cheek will come to the bottom of the screen. He is split. And a power I in the backfield. Hand off to Howell again. Howell picks up the first down easily.
For a gain of 5 and a Troy first down.
The Colts look like they're just experimenting offensively, seeing whatever they want to run and see if it will work, and it has worked. Terry Powers on the far sideline, the middle of the screen. Looking on. Terry with the headset on, right at the line marker. And here on the sideline, thought it was a player, didn't you? No, it is a cheerleader. And they can also get hurt, so be careful out there. Handoff to Hamus. He's wrapped up quickly, but breaks free. And a good 2nd and 3rd effort by Hamus just to try to get back to the line of scrimmage, but he'll take the loss. Let's take a look here. Hamus hit hard. Good penetration in there by Slavic. And Slavic is in there quickly, wraps him up the first time. Then he breaks free of another one, so 2, and now finally brought down by the 3rd tackler, and that was number 23 in there for Kimball. Another one of those sophomores. 2nd down and 16 now because of the loss. Kipke downfield, complete. Inside the 10 and close to a first down. Complete down there to number 49, Dan McCarty. McCarty on the reception. Let's take a look. Kipke quick fake and downfield to McCarty. Takes 1. Kimball Knight down with him. 3rd down and 3. Ball right at the 10-yard line. Just shy, rather, of the 11. In motion, Goldberg. And the handoff to the tailback, E.J. Howell. Howell picks up the first down and gets close to the 5-yard line.
Howell down to the 5-yard line. It will be a Troy first down. It's 1st and goal, Troy at the 5.
Some more fans here at Troy High School. And Well, we'll try it tomorrow once you get the candy out of your hands. And yeah, she'll get plenty of that on Halloween. First down and goal from the 5-yard line. I formation in the backfield with Gould and Howell. Howell takes it following Gould. And maybe about a yard on the carry. Let's see where they mark it. It'll bring up a second and about 4. Second and goal from the 4. There we see the band preparing for halftime. A lot of things going on the sideline here. A lot of people concerned about the game, but hey, the band's got to prepare, get ready for their show too. And at the same time, still concerned about the score, what's going on down on the field. Power I left. Hand off to Gould. Gould trying to power his way into the end zone and just short of it.
Gould down to the 1-yard line.
Garrett Gould stood up just short of the end zone. Gould, 6'3", 210. A lot of power right there. You're looking at that senior. Kind of a Tom Rathman look to him. Big size, big power. And can catch the ball too, as we saw earlier in the first quarter. Power I again, power I right. This time Howell spinning into the end zone for the touchdown from the 2-yard line. E.J. Howell. What a night for Howell so far. Let's take a look. It's a good second effort that gets him in. He'll hit the line of scrimmage here and then roll off to the left for the touchdown. That's a good sense of knowing where the end zone is, kind of like a basketball player in a turnaround jump shot. The extra point up, and it is good. Jason Vincent and Paul Beams switching back and forth on those extra points. Vincent gets it through this time, and it's 35-0 in favor of the Troy Colts over the Kimball Knights. Well, it was billed to be a big battle here tonight. Troy Colts coming in with a 5-0 record in the conference, and the Kimball Knights with 4-1 in the conference. Had Kimball come up with a big victory here, would have tied it up in the SMA. And they still have a half to go, but things are not looking that well for the Kimball Knights right now, as the Colts have scored on every possession they have had. 1:15 left here in the first half. Back to receive for the Knights, Adam Conrad and Jason Webster. Beams will kick off. Beams, short, and taken there by Webster. Webster has a lot of open field to run, and it finally closes in on him, but not after a good return out to about the 35-yard line, just shy of that to the 34. 1:04 left in the first half, and let's take a look at the return. The kickoff is short. He's been booming them, and here it looks like number 23 will get it, but then lets it go for Jason Webster. So Webster taking it straight up the middle, and saw a little bit of an alley here, but then it just closed in on him as the Colts finally get there. But not until he gets to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 there for the Knights. Handoff, and a pretty good run there, just trying to get a couple of yards. Jeremy Davis, number 32. Davis with a gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 now. Clock still running. 30 seconds left here in the first half. Dave Zorin with you here at Troy High School, where the Troy Colts have dominated here in this first half, 35-0. Handoff to the tailback, and that is Conrad, Adam Conrad on the carry. And that'll pretty much do it. Looks like it'll be the last play of this first half. And the Kimball Knights would be happy with that. They'd like to go back and regroup. No. We have a timeout called by the Knights. They have one play left. and they want to use it. The Knights have a few timeouts, and they figure, why not just get one play off and see if we can strike quickly, like the Troy Colts did in the first play of the game. The Colts set the pace by scoring on the very first play of the game, a 57-yard touchdown pass, Kipke to Goldberg, and Goldberg did a good job of tippy-toeing along the sideline and staying in. I think had the Knights knocked that pass down, which they had a chance to do, it might have been a different story altogether. It might have set a different tone. Gary Griffith talking to his defense, which has done a tremendous job in keeping Kimball off the scoreboard. Kimball Knights have had a surprising season, but a great season nonetheless, up until the last game. The Oakland Press Perspective. Keep on top of what's going on in Oakland County. Tune into the Oakland Press Perspective. The editor of the Oakland Press, Neil Monroe, hosts this program. You can watch it every Friday at 8:30 right here on TCI 63. Troy Colts, indeed, 35-0 they lead. And everybody rooting here for the Knights to get into the end zone. Everybody but the Troy Colts fans, that is. And here's their last effort going downfield, intended down there. It looked like Adam Conrad was the closest player. They had three receivers going down there: Conrad, Reiser, and Issett. And that will end the first half of play as Terry Powers heads into the halftime locker room, trying to regroup his team and salvage whatever he can here in this contest. It's been all Troy Colts so far, and Gary Griffith's defense has dominated. The offense hasn't done that bad either, scoring on every possession they've had. The score at halftime: the Troy Colts 35 and the Kimball Knights nothing. We'll be back with halftime stats for you right after this message.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
The TCI Sports Game of the Week. This week we're at Troy High, and the Troy Colts dominating here in the first half, 35-0 over the Kimball Knights. Here's how things went in that first half for both teams as we take a look at the stats. Kimball, 37 yards rushing, 12 passing for a total of 49. And the Troy Colts just dominating in passing and rushing. Well-balanced attack, 132 rushing and 121 on the pass, 253 yards in the first half alone. Total yards. First downs, 13-9. They did pick up some first downs, the Kimball Knights did. The Troy Colts, you would say, only a couple more than they did, really only a few more, but the Troy Colts struck quickly. Turnovers, one for Kimball. That was the interception by Chad Benson. And the total time, Kimball had the ball more because of the time of possession, because of the longer drives that they took and the drives that stalled, really. The Troy Colts striking quickly pretty much on every drive they had, and really picking up the ball on occasion in Kimball territory. Next week's game will take us to Troy, Athens, when the Dondero Oaks take on the Athens Redhawks, and that'll be Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. And a reminder tonight, right after tonight's show, the Road Show video program with Bubba Wicker and Pat Collar, as they take you to paintball in stereo where available. And the kickoff. Paul Beams to kick off to the Kimball Knights. Good high kick taken at about the 10-yard line. This is Conrad. Conrad hit hard at about the 25 and falls forward for a couple more yards. Adam Conrad on the return gets him over the 25-yard line to about the 27, 28-yard line. Let's take a look. Conrad takes it at the 10. And now just goes straight up the field Trying to make a little bit of a fake there, but basically straight up the field and stood straight up by number 65. That is Badone, Tony Badone. 1st and 10, ball on about the 29-yard line. And a quick whistle there, not much. Yeah, gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd and about 7 coming up. There we see number 32, Jeremy Davis, the running back. Knights trying to establish something. The clock will keep running now with that 35-point lead for the Troy Colts. Here in the SMA, the rule states 35-point lead, and the clock will continue to run. So this may be a quick first half, depending on what the Knights can do. On the carry, Conrad trying to go off tackle, and meeting him there is Garrett Gould. Number 54 also there, Joe McKay. And on the bottom of the pile, number 73, and that is Sofer, Michael Sofer. The Troy Colt defense swarming so far tonight. They have done a terrific job. And talking to some of the Troy Colts fans here and the coaching staff, they have picked up the pace. And Gary Griffith has said they have looked a lot better the last few weeks. They have picked up the pace going into the playoffs. Look out, Garrett Gould had a beat on the quarterback, and Davis just unloaded short of his intended receiver, Corey Reiser. And it's a good thing he did, because Garrett Gould was going to hit Davis from the blind side had he not let go of that one. We're just underway here in the second half at Troy High School. Reiser limping there, but a lot of players are going to play hurt here. 2 big injuries early on for the Knights. Here's a fumble by the punter, and this one hurts. This one will hurt the Knights as they tried to punt it away. In there was number 66, Dwayne Bergeron. Bergeron in there quickly to cover the punter. And the Troy Colts, and again, we talked about time of possession at halftime there with the stats. This is why the Troy Colts don't have much time of possession. They're getting it deep in Kimball territory. Here, not able to field it is Jason Webster. Webster trying to get it off there, but he's just covered by Bergeron. And that's at about the 25-yard line. Colts will start there. Handoff to the fullback, Gould with power. Gain of about 5 yards, and that's just sheer strength on the part of Garrett Gould, as he was met a yard or two past the line of scrimmage and then just drove his feet. Let's take a look. Watch the power that Gould has straight through the tackler, number 51 down there. And again, the Kimball varsity bringing up some sophomores. Again, we don't have his number as well, unfortunately, on the roster. Fake to Hamus in the pitch, just getting out there to Howell. Howell tries to turn the corner and gains maybe a yard. So a long run as Gary Griffith looks on for Howell, and only picking up maybe a yard if he's lucky. Let's take a look. Watch Kipke get hurt right on the pitch, or rather hit. I don't know if he's hurt, but he got hit right on the pitch. And good penetration in there by the Knights. Finally wrestling him out of bounds is Corey Reiser. 3rd down and about 4 now for the Troy Colts. I formation in the backfield, pro set with the receivers. Kipke getting the second handoff through to Howell. Howell breaks through for the touchdown. E.J. Howell. 18 yards for the touchdown. Let's take a look. And he just barely got this handoff off as the first fake kind of nudged Kipke back, and he had to stretch and reach to give it to Howell. Howell there on the straight dive just took it all the way in. 18 yards for the touchdown, and the Troy Colts continue to score on every possession. The extra point is up and good. Paul Beams on the kick. The extra point is good, and the Troy Colts continue to dominate. Now you've got to take a look and say, boy, a victory like this You don't want it to get out of hand for the Troy Colts in the games coming up, but you can't help but look at the sheer strength that they've shown here tonight against a very good Kimball team. This is not a team that you would predict a blowout like this on. The Kimball Knights have had a very proud and a very good first half of the season. They've done very well here. They came up with that loss against Berkeley, which really hurt them last week. And you would expect a very strong effort here tonight, and a very tough thing to look at that scoreboard, 42-0, if you're a Kimball fan. You just totally you don't expect something like this to happen. But you've got a strong Troy Colt team that has really picked up the pace in the last few weeks. Their offensive line has come around, and Gary Griffith talking about how the line defensively and offensively has come around for him, and that's made a big difference. Back to receive, number 11, Adam Conrad for the Knights. Kicking off is Jason Vinson. Vinson with a deep kick down about the 3-yard line. Taking it back is Webster. Webster hit inside the 20 to about the 17 or 18-yard line. We'll see where they start. And let's take a look. Vinson, who doesn't normally kick off, it's usually Beams. Vinson gets a great leg into this one. And they're inside the 5 to about the 3, and that's where Webster took it. And Webster gets it back. Hit hard right there at about the 17-yard line. Ball resting, though, just short of the 20 at about the 19. First and 10 there. Davis to pass. He's got a complete one. Out to Corey Reiser in the direction out there of Reiser and Issett. He had both receivers out there. And it seems like Issett may be a decoy. Reiser seemed to be limping back to the huddles, and I don't know if that's his style of just trotting back or not. If you remember back to baseball days with Mickey Rivers, when the Yankees used to have that little lean forward, and it seemed like he was kind of jogging back a little bit tired. But nonetheless, Corey Reiser stays out there. He's in motion. Seems to be doing all right there. Davis back to pass, drops back now, steps up and tries to pick up that first down, but pulled down from behind, and right there to get him was number 65, Tony Bedone.
My dad. Troy.
There's a message to mom and dad, and here's Jeff Davis trying to elude the pressure put on by the Colts. Getting in there quickly was number 72, and then finally tackled down by the ankles there by Bedone. 3rd down and 4 coming up now for the Kimball Knights. Davis has 2 receivers up top. And tipped initially by number 49 down there, Dan McCarty, and nobody could get it after that. McCarty deflects the pass intended for Issett. Let's take a look who tips it first. Davis throws, and there's the tip, and there's another tip. So it was Issett who had a chance, had his fingers on it afterwards. Another punting down here for the Kimball Knights. End over end, taken by Cook at the 40-yard line, and Cook will go out of bounds at about the 46. So the Troy Colts will start at their own 46-yard line with 2:50 and counting down here in the 3rd quarter. Again, the rule stating that if you lead more, 35 points or more, the clock will continue to run. And unfortunately, that's the case here tonight for the Kimball Knights. With the Colts leading by 42 points, the clock continues to roll. Next week, it'll be the Dondero Oaks taking on the Troy Athens Redhawks. And that will be the game preceding the big final game of the season, the Redhawks against the Colts. The run here by the Colts. The carry by Cook. Eric Cook on the carry. Gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and about 7 coming up. Again, that final game, the Colts against the Redhawks. that's one of those games where you can pretty much throw records out the window when you've got those two teams matching up. A lot of the players know each other from living in the area, and it's always a very emotional game between the two teams. And we'll be there to bring you that one. And again, next week it's at Athens, and it'll be Dondero. Second down at about 7. Kipke on the handoff to the first man through, and a big gain for number 49, Dan McCarty. McCarty in there now, and McCarty breaks through that line of scrimmage very quickly, follows that line. When you've got a guy coming off the ball so quick like that, the offensive line doesn't have to sustain their blocks as long, and he's already into the backfield. Just that quickly. Into Kimball territory at about the 36-yard line. The Troy Colts there. In there at quarterback, Matt Benedicts, number 8. Benedicts gets the handoff over to Cook, and Cook trying to go off tackle that time and brought down by number 32 for the Kimball Knights, Jeremy Davis. Eric Cook in there getting a chance to run some plays on the offense. He has been returning kickoffs and punts, and now gets a chance to get into the offense here in the second half with the big lead that the Troy Colts have, and a chance for everybody to see some of the younger players. Although Cook being a senior. In motion. Vanderbeek, excuse me, here on the carry, and getting back past the original line of scrimmage after the loss is number 32, Jared Topher. Topher on the carry to end the third quarter, and that is probably the fastest third quarter we're going to probably see this season. And actually, the rule is made to give the team who is down by 42 points or 35 points a break, because generally when a team is down by 35 like that, it's not going to get much better. And if it does, they do have a chance to get some points back on the board to closen it up, or to get the score a little bit closer, and then the clock will not run continuously. But tonight, as we see Gary Griffith, his team is running on all cylinders, and the Kimball Knights have had their problems getting on the board. So as we switch sides now for the fourth quarter, the Colts will have a, let's see what we have here. Third down, and about 9 coming up. 3rd and 9, the situation for the Troy Colts in a passing down, and let's see what Matt Benedicts can do. Benedicts on the handoff. Oh, look at this. Spinning and turning, and what a run by number 32, Jared Topher, to take it inside the 10-yard line to about the 9. Number 32, Jared Topher. Let's take a look at the run. It was a 3rd and 9, and instead of going to the air, they stick to the ground, and look at this. Good spin there. Breaking away from Jay Swan, breaking into the backfield, and switching arms. Good job in switching the ball to the other arm and avoiding a possible turnover when the defensive back eventually will probably go to swing for that ball, try to knock it out. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. And what a run by number 49, Dan McCarty, to get it into the end zone for a touchdown. McCarty from 8 yards out puts the Troy Colts up now. Even further, 48-0. Let's take a look. McCarty, a lot of room in there. And just a matter of eluding one man, and that was number 66, Nathan Shotwell, who had a little bit of a grasp on him. But McCarty was already past him, and Shotwell had him. The extra point attempt by Vincent is up, and it is good. And the Troy Colts continue, even with the second string in there, to score on every possession they've had. And this is just something a coach dreams of, having a team run this well offensively and defensively. Gary Griffith has prepared his team for this game. Not to take anything away, that is, to Terry Powers, who has, I'm sure, done a great job in preparing his team. But it's just a matter of coming out flat or coming out strong here. And the Troy Colts, on the very first play of the game, going to the air and surprising the Kimball Knights on a touchdown pass. And a pass that could have been blocked right before it got to the receiver. Could have been knocked down, as one of the Kimball Knights was right there to knock it down. There is Terry Powers, and what a great job he's done this year to getting this team going after a season last year of 4-5, 5th in the SMA, 2-5 in the conference, and turning it around, having 2 offensive returning starters and 2 defensive returning starters. So Terry Powers, a lot to be proud of this season, and his Kimball Knights. A tough Troy Colt team here tonight. Ball taken at the 5-yard line by Webster. Webster hit low and now just gang tackled at the 22-23-yard line. Troy fans still vocal here, even here in the fourth quarter, with the big lead that they have. Let's take a look as Webster takes it straight up the field, gets hit there, still stays on one leg, and then pays the price because he's got the whole Troy Colt special teams unit on it. Here we go. Knights trying to get something on the board. In motion is Reiser. Back to pass. Davis has a man open. That's Reiser out in the flat, and finally brought down there as he slips by Jamie O'Brien. .08 left here in the fourth quarter. The Troy Colts dominating, as we said, from the very first play of the game. And it's been all Troy Colts since. 2nd down and 6 coming up after the 4-yard gain on the pass to Reiser. There you see the clock counting down, and the handoff on a straight dive to Webster, and a flag flies. We'll have a penalty call here after the carry. Jeremy Davis on the carry, number 32, correction. And it looks like it's going against the Kimball Knights. Down there is number 44, Terig Kazuz, the captain. This will knock the Kimball Knights back, and let's hear the call.
We're going to go the offense, repeat the down, 2nd down. That's a previous spot.
5-yard penalty from the spot, and that'll bring it back. Gary Griffith on the sideline. Trying to keep his team composed here. They lead 49-0.
Let's go, Troy!
And the Troy Colts on the sidelines. Davis back to pass, gets it off, intended for Corey Reiser. It seems like a lot of those passes have been going short for Davis tonight. Let's take a look. And they may want to change some of these patterns and just have a receiver do a little bit of a curl here to help out Davis. That is, he was open, and had he just done a quick curl there and just waited for it, he might have picked up that first down that they need. Instead, it's 3rd and 11. He had plenty of room to pick up the first, too. Going well past the first down marker. Davis again to the air, going deep and again overthrowing his intended receiver, Brian Issett. That time a little bit further than he's been throwing, overthrowing most of them. So unfortunately for the Kimball Knights, it's either been an overthrow or a short pass in the ground. And you've got to credit that to the defense of the Troy Colts, forcing a lot of those mistakes. penalty coming up to the Troy Colts for too many men on the field.
No, don't grab it. Don't try to.
And this punt will trickle down to about the 30-yard line, about the 32. But a penalty coming up to the Troy Colts, and I don't know where this will put them. A 10-yard penalty would put them about a yard short of a first down. So too many men on the field, and we'll hear what the Kimball Knights want to do with this in just a moment. 6:02 left here in the fourth quarter. The clock stops because of the penalty. And let's hear the penalty call here.
We've got an illegal substitution against the defense. The penalty is declined. Going to be there.
Penalty is declined. Illegal substitution, the call, and the Troy Colts will take it at the 32-yard line. It really wouldn't have given them the first down, and that's why they decline it.
Come on, Kyle Rance, let's
So
go,
the
baby.
clock will start on the snap.
Come on, Kyle Rance, for the show.
Here we
now.
take a look at Brian Kipke, who had a great first half,
Run the show, don't stop now.
and cheering on his second team.
Put it in, baby, let's go.
Let's go. Let's put it in
Good job,
now.
good
Get
job.
another one.
Brian Kipke, great job at quarterback in that first half, and now taking over the clipboard and charting the plays. Pro set, I formation, and the new quarterback in there handing off to number 33 in there now. On the carry, Dan Kipley taking the handoff from Kyle Rance, and we've seen Rance in there before. Here's Kyle Rance, and the handoff to Kipley. Kipley getting some good blocking in there, and then finally dragged down, and a pretty good pickup on the first down carry. Gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 now for the Colts. Got 2 men in the backfield. 2 receivers split pro formation. For Rance. Rance handing off right up the middle. And a big pickup for number 21, Jamie O'Brien. O'Brien with the first down carry close to midfield. Let's take a look. Here's a quick counterplay, trap right up the middle, and O'Brien just picks up a hole and goes with it. And a little bit of room there to run, and he took off, but a lot of traffic around him, and rumbled for the first down. Right at midfield. Troy Colts, 1st and 10 there. Two men in the backfield again, pro set for Rance as he hands off again to Kipley. Kipley getting a good chunk of yardage there, about 8 or 9 yards. Call it 9 yards is where they'll mark it, so a big 9-yard carry for Kipley. Dan Kipley, a junior, 5'10", 150. And a nice run outside and a good sign there of changing the ball as he felt the pressure come from the inside, change it to the outside arm, and then back again. There's your quarterback, Kyle Rance, number 6, 6'4", 195. He's a sophomore. 2nd and 1, straight dive, and a little bit of hesitation there might prevent them from getting the first down. O'Brien kind of tippy-toed up to the line, and it may have given the Knights a chance to stop him on that 3rd down. Or on the 2nd down, it'll be 3rd down now, 3rd and 1. As a running back, you've got to run to that line full speed and not wait for the handoff. If the handoff doesn't get there, the quarterback will take it and run. There is Kyle Rance. The sophomore quarterback. The pitch now going back to Cook. Cook has it strung out, and he will get hit for a loss. Back to the 45-yard line. They had it at about the 41. They knock him back about 5 yards. Let's take a look here. Cook has nowhere to go here as the Knights string him out. Good effort there. Breaks one, and then finally the pursuit gets to him. Scott Adams, number 30 for Kimball, slowing him up initially. Loss of about 4, actually, so 4th and 5. Here we see our hard-working staff looking on. Brian Burns. Brian helping Bubba Wicker down there, doing the great job that Bubba is getting. All those shots along the sideline. Rance on the handoff, and this is another quick counter up the middle, but this will not work as Jamie O'Brien is stopped, and we have the first possession that the Colts were unable to do any kind of scoring with, and the Knights are happy to see that finally, but it's only 1:56 left here in the ball game. We're in the fourth quarter. 1:53 now and counting down here. Don't forget to tune into the Roadshow video program coming up right after the ball game. Dive here, nothing on the play. On the carry, number 32, that is Jeremy Davis. Clock winding down. And again, the quickest second half we're going to see this season. And it's because of the big lead the Detroit Colts compiled in that first half. 2nd and 10. Taking about 8, rather. And still counting down. Another gain of maybe a yard. If that, it'll be 3rd down coming up, 3rd and long. And we're under a minute left. The Troy Colts, what a job they've done tonight. And a big matchup this was hailed to be. The 4-1 in the conference, Kimball Knights. This is overthrown, intended down there for Lou Alfala. And the big matchup again that this was supposed to be. Terry Powers was 4-1 coming into this game with his Kimball Knights, and the Troy Colts 5-0 in the SMA. And the Troy Colts just prepared themselves for this contest and put it away early. Troy Colts dominating. 4th down. And dominating to the very last snap. That'll do it. That's the final. As the Troy Colts dominate from the opening play and bury the Kimball Knights' hopes of a divisional or conference crown, as you could say. The championship was won tonight pretty much by the Troy Colts. Terry Powers coming out and shaking hands with Gary Griffith. And Terry Powers knowing that there was no hard feelings between these two teams. Great effort by the Troy Colts. Terry Powers looking on now. He'll move on. And what a job he's done with this Royal Oak Kimball team. Last year 4-5, this year 4-1, and now going to 4-2 in the conference. Gary Griffith, great job on his part. Griffith now goes to 22-5 in his 3rd year here at Troy High School, and what a record he has compiled with the players that he has here at Troy High. Both teams shaking hands, and the Troy Colts go to a very impressive 6-0 in the conference, 7-0 overall, as Gary Griffith compiles his team and talks to them about the big victory they've come up with tonight to put this conference away. The final score, the Troy Colts 49 and the Kimball Knights nothing. We'll be back to wrap it up for you and give you some final stats on this game right after these messages, and talk a little bit about next week's game right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports. Dress for battle and join in the action as Pat and Bubba take you to Almont, Michigan to experience the game of paintball. You'll see firsthand what it's like on the paintball field as the guys narrate their way through the fierce battle. So, for the best in pop music videos and all the paintball action, watch Roadshow Video. Coming up next on TCI 63.
The final here at Troy High School, 49-0, the Troy Colts over the Kimball Knights. And it was all Troy Colts from the first play as they scored on a 57-yard touchdown pass from Kipke to Goldberg, and that pretty much set the pace. The Kimball Knights had a chance to even intercept that, if not knock it down, but I think that set the pace for tonight's game. Here are the final stats for you. Yards rushing and passing, 44 and 19 for Kimball, puts them at a total of 63 total yards. The Troy Colts dominating again, 234 yards total rushing and 121 passing for a total yardage of 355 total yards, and the Troy Colts just dominating again. First downs, Kimball not bad, 13 to Troy's 19, but Troy had very short drives, a lot of them in Kimball territory to get into the end zone. Turnovers, Kimball had one, and that was the interception by Benson. And total time of possession, 28 minutes for Kimball, 20 for Troy. The time of possession going to Kimball, again, because of Troy's short drives. Scoring by quarters, again, all Troy Colts, 21 points in that first quarter, 14 in the second. And that put them at 35 at halftime, which allowed the clock to run the entire second half. And the Troy Colts put in 2 touchdowns with their second team offense in there, 7 in the third and 7 in the fourth. And that gave them a total of 49 points tonight, which now, if you're a Troy Colt fan, you got to watch and make sure that something like this, and Gary Griffith has got to make sure his team does not get overconfident in a victory like this. Next week, we'll head over to Troy Athens, and it'll be the Dondero Oaks taking on the Athens Redhawks, and that should be a pretty good matchup with those two teams going at it. The Troy Redhawks, or the Troy Athens Redhawks, getting ready for the Troy Colts matchup, which will be the following week, and that's the one we'll be at also. So a couple of games down the line. But next week it'll be the Oaks against the Athens Redhawks. And that'll pretty much do it as we take a look at our NFL football that we have here for our staff. And the game ball down there, the Troy Colts dominate 49-0 over the Kimball Knights. And for our hardworking staff here for TCI Sports, I'm Dave Zorin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week at Troy Athens.